Welcome back, everybody. Now, there has been news minutes from now, that apparently running back Le'Veon Bell has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs or are looking into it. Now, this could be huge and this could be bad for the Kansas City Chiefs, as last time he had a really good record was in either 2016 or 17. I can't exactly recall. But the good thing about this could be a mentor situation for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, I'm not saying to put him in the sidelines, but it would be nice if we could at least have someone help him out. Kind of like what Shady McCoy, also not like LaShawn McCoy, did for Damian Williams last season. Now, the bad thing on this is that he is one of those type of players who could put his ego. He has an ego, which can be bad. But for example, when he was leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers, it was because of a contract situation. No matter how much the Steelers were giving him, it wouldn't matter to him. He didn't want, it was just a bad situation for him, for everybody, because, he obviously wasn't going to get that money, and I don't blame the Steelers for doing that, because I wouldn't want somebody who is not loyal to a team to be on my team. I want somebody who is going to be on my team to play football and to make my organization great, not to just take my money and say screw it all, That's not what I'm wanting. I don't care how good you are. You could be a LaDainian Tomlinson. I wouldn't want you on my team if you're crying about money. I want players that want to play for a championship, for the organization. I don't like money hungry people, especially especially the ones that are asking for way too much. You're in the sport because you decided to be in the sport, not so owners can pay you to do a half job. Which was not the case. He wasn't doing a half job. He was getting 1,000 yards. He was doing pretty good. It's just, even if you did, have let's say a Barry Sanders season, come on. The dude, you still just can't, act that way. When you're getting the amount you're being offered, if it's really good, it seemed pretty good too. Seemed like a good average running back offer at the time. But why this is a good thing, it's so he can hopefully become the 2014 Le'Veon Bell, and he can also pass that aside to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is a 1-year deal, so anything can happen. I think the Chiefs could bring him in to be a mentor, which would be really fun. People say that running backs don't need to be mentored, but it wouldn't hurt. You saw what happened to Williams. He didn't seem so good, or he was okay, but he wasn't, one of the best. But now that Shady McCoy or LaShawn McCoy was in and helped the guy out, he turned that into a Super Bowl championship. Let's be for real. He was a big part of that Super Bowl. He had I believe he had 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown. Maybe 1 rushing, I don't know. I watched the game, of course, but, come on. Not everybody remember every single stat. That's just impossible. Kind of. So good things can come out of that. He had 3 teams on his list, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are very close from getting him, as they were trying to give him a 2-year deal, as reported, which would have been fun because he could have even mentored Myles Gaskin, who is younger. He could use a little bit of help from a leading rusher. But even on the Bills, who he actually had at a lower position, he can even help out a Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is already turning into a really good player. He's young, he's learning. Maybe bringing in a Le'Veon Bell will give him more what's that word I'm looking for? Maybe that will give him a little bit more confidence and a little more. He'll want inspiration. He'll want more. He'll get more inspiration. He'll maybe he'll watch Le'Veon, learn from Le'Veon, take some notes, and there you go. Which you probably thinking he can watch some film, but it's harder than what you think, because you actually have to really be visualized, and you have to actually be coached personally in order to really be all that good. Like it doesn't just come from watching film. Sometimes it will take an actual person to teach somebody the ropes. And luckily, there's been a lot of players who don't have that and still do great. And then you have those who don't have that and they don't do well. And sometimes that's just because of how the player they are. But once you get someone to motivate you, once you get a mentor in there, once you get someone that can care to help you, that can give somebody a lot. It's nice to have. It is. Let's see what else. And even if he becomes a starter or something, maybe if he continues this road of being a Chief, who knows? He can become something really great for Kansas City. We might keep him for a more longer term. We have $6 million in cap. The Jets are still paying him, so really money wouldn't be so bad for us. Apparently, that's what I've heard from other fans. And it's just it. The best thing to do right now is just to play it right now. Have a little bit of experimental situations. We should just take the season to experiment. And I'm not saying to tank. I'm not saying to just do bad. I'm not saying to be like, oh, we won a Super Bowl, we're fine. No, we still need to win another Super Bowl. We still need to be aggressive and get another one. We need to win all these games. But at the same time, this is somewhat of a different team, as there's some players that left. There was some players that just there's players that left. There's some injuries going on. Some players aren't exactly playing the same way they were. There's new schemes being experimentalized, as you saw in the Raiders game, where they were playing a different type of defense. Well, that's what I saw, and I didn't see we're playing the same kind of defense we always do. Usually, what I see is we run a 3-4, and what I saw during the Raiders game was a nickel, or it was like a 4-3 kind of defense, which it was not a Chief way. It wasn't a Steve Spagnuolo way. It was interesting to watch, but it wasn't us. It wasn't a good scheme either. You can probably tell, as it just wasn't working. Josh Jacobs kept on hammering us. Derek Carr was throwing to people like Nelson Aguilar, their rookie Henry Ruggs. I mean, those two were explosive. And back in Philadelphia, Aguilar couldn't even catch a ball if his life depended on it. So it's interesting how all that works. It's just, it sucks. It really does. So losing to a divisional team, we've got to do something new. I don't see that Le'Veon Bell would be the right move for us to be continuing all, but it's definitely an interesting way of and it's confirmed. We got confirmed. We've got a confirmed thing that Le'Veon Bell is now a Chief. He will be playing for the Chiefs. I don't see how that will help us, as I was saying, because our main thing with that was our main thing right now really is the offensive line and the secondary. That's really our deal right now. Um, it's just it's going crazy. Nothing's working out on the offensive line. We really need more offensive line depth. But it is confirmed. Kansas City Chiefs have signed Le'Veon Bell, something that was supposed to happen a few years ago. Or last year. Whichever. Yeah, last year when Le'Veon Bell was in free agency. The Kansas City Chiefs were on the list. Kansas City Chiefs gave him an offer. But what happened? He went to the Jets. I think the Jets gave him more money or something. Or more of a term. But now the Kansas City Chiefs have him. What they can do with that is they can play Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell both at the same time, like they did with McCoy and Williams. We can have this pretty much a same deal. Both players will have the same time of playing. What we need to do is take out Washington. We don't need him unless we already got rid of him. Or not rid of him, that's a bad way of saying, but to release him. Because we never needed Washington. We were already going to draft the running back. We didn't need Washington at all. I was actually really upset with that pick. Even if we weren't doing a running back. We just didn't need him. We didn't need that depth on our hands. We had Damian Williams, we had Darrell Williams, Darwin Thompson, who I think is needing more of a chance. I thought at that time we still had Shady, but I guess we didn't. Shady McCoy. But, now it is confirmed Le'Veon Bell is a Kansas City Chief. I really hope he can bring back his 2012 side of him and have a pretty good year. It's going to be interesting to watch. It really will be. We stole him from the Bills, who were playing in the next on our next game next week. We have. And we took him from the Dolphins, who are the same division rivals. So he's not going to the AFC East anymore, that's for sure. He's not going to be an AFC East player anymore. He is coming to the AFC West. And hopefully, with how the divisions... with how the divisions teams are playing with the Chargers, Raiders, and the Broncos, he can destroy those teams, and who knows? Maybe one day we'll play the Steelers again, and it can be and the Jets, which I believe we do play the Jets this year, so that's going to be a really interesting one to see. He can get his revenge. That is if he stays healthy. Now I believe he did have an injury at one point. But I'm sure we can figure that one out. And if we don't, like I said before, it's a one year term. We will not need to worry about that as much. Jets are still paying him, plus the money. Plus, we're probably going to have a low salary for him this time. And I'm wondering if he's doing this because we're likely to have a Super Bowl more than the Dolphins. He's probably wanting that Super Bowl, and he's probably wanting to help the Chiefs gather that. He's going to be he's going to be a piece to our Super Bowl, and but will this be a guarantee? Nothing is ever guaranteed. That's the problem. But will he have his on and off field struggles? That's not guaranteed either. We'll have to see how all this goes. It's an interesting time for Chiefs Kingdom right now. Definitely something I did not expect. I didn't think we'd even give an offer. But Le'Veon Bell is a Kansas City Chief. He will go down in the books as a Chief, playing in a team. Pretty much he's staying in the AFC, which is a conference. Which is a conference that Lamar Hunt built, and who built the Kansas City Chiefs specifically? Lamar Hunt. So he's staying in Lamar Hunt's. He's staying in Lamar Hunt's house. Boom. Good eye, Kansas City. Let's make this work. And for you, Chiefs Kingdom, get them grills fired up. We got a game on Monday. Goodbye.